Marvel number 2 out of the 3 marvels of wealth accumulation. Rothschild said compounding tax-free is better than just compound interest. Einstein said compound interest was the 8th wonder of the world. No, it's tax-free accumulation when you're talking about money. So get ready. I'm going to show you the difference and why you choose investments based upon which ones generate the most. At the time in life you're going to be using the money the most. You don't choose investments based upon which ones grow to the most. So get ready. So I'm Doug Andrew. I've been a financial strategist and retirement planning specialist now for north of 5 decades, helping thousands of Americans optimize assets, minimize taxes, and empower their authentic wealth. And I teach them the 3 marvels of wealth accumulation. And I even teach these to CPAs and tax attorneys. I'm blown away with what they didn't know. And so watch the first episode, the first marvel, to see how I stump these CPAs. But let's move ahead, because a dollar doubling 20 times, okay, to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16 will grow to $1,048,000. That's compound interest. Now, that's if it's tax advantaged. But see, how do most Americans save money? In taxed as earned investments, banks, credit unions, regular mutual funds, where every year they have to report the interest and the dividends and pay tax on it. So let me give you an example. Let's use a 25% tax bracket. A dollar doubles to $2 the first year. You pay tax of 25%, 25 cents on that gain. You end up with $1.75. $1.75 doubles to $3.50. You pay tax on that. Do you know at the end of 20 periods, you'll only have $72,000 instead of $1 million? Yeah, that's how most Americans save. Now, in a 33% tax bracket, many Californians are in that tax bracket or higher, you'll only have $27,000, 2.7% of what you could have had, $1 million. Okay. That's the most common way people save in America, and it's the worst way, tax as earned investments. Now let's go to tax deferred. Sometimes people say, well, Doug, I'm smart. I put my money in tax deferred IRAs or 401ks. I have $1 million accumulated in that tax deferred IRA. You have $1 million in your tax free IUL. What's the diff? And I go, the difference is you don't choose investments based upon which ones grow to the most or even the same amount. You choose investments based upon which ones generate the most. At the time of life, you're going to be using the money the most. So I tell them, let's go to the back 9 of an 18-hole golf game of life. Retirement, okay? So you have this $1,048,000 in your IRAs or 401ks, and you have $1,048,000 in a maximum funded IUL. Now, by the way, those who were taxed as earned, even in the 25% tax bracket, they only have $72,000. And if you need $100,000 a year to buy gas, groceries, prescriptions, golf green fees, you didn't even make it 1 year. You're short $30,000 the first year of retirement. And that's why the masses in America will outlive their money within the first year. They won't be able to afford to retire. They'll have to rely on Social Security, charity, welfare, or their children for support. That's pathetic. Now, the savers, they say, well, I have $1 million in my IRA or 401k. Well, that's not all your money. The government has a permanent tax lien on that, okay? So in order for you to net $100,000 after tax in a 33% tax bracket, you have to withdraw 50% more money, not 33% more, 50% more, okay? You have to pull out $150,000, pay tax of a third, $50,000, to net $100,000. So many advisors don't understand what I just said. In a 33% bracket, you have to pull out 50% more money. Okay. Now, so you pull out $150,000 to have $100,000 left over after tax. Your $1 million nest egg, if it's earning 10%, I'm going to be very generous here because we average net internal rates of return of 10%, 10.07 to be exact. The IRA 401k $1 million nest egg will be out of money at age 76. 11 years, you're out of money. And now you're relying on Social Security, welfare, charity, or your children for support. That's why most Americans' greatest fear is outliving their money. Okay. Now, the same amount in a max funded IUL, $1 million. And by the way, I can get that in there and have tax advantages on the seed money by resurrecting deductions most people kill. And so I'm actually funding IUL with 100-cent tax advantage dollars on the front end. You can read about that in my book, okay? This is apples to apples comparison to what I'm talking about. If I pull out 100 grand out of an IUL, okay, the smart way, it's tax-free. I only have to pull out 100 to net 100. The people with IRAs have to pull out 150 to net 100. That's why they run out of money. So in 11 years, when the IRA and 401k is out of money, I still have a million, and it's been growing even in spite of pulling that out. I still have my million. Now, if my spouse or myself, if we live another 20 years, because in a baby boomer couple, one of you is expected to live to age 96, national average, okay? So that's another 20 years past the IRA 401k. Another 20 years of $100,000 of income. That's $2 million bucks. Plus you will still have your million or more. That's a $3 million better retirement nest egg than the same amount of money in an IRA or 401k at the same age of retirement, 65. What would you rather have, okay? I'd rather have a million that lasts forever and generates $3 million better performance than an IRA or 401k that runs out in 11 years, okay? So this is afforded with tax-free compounding. So when I compare metaphorically these marvels of wealth accumulation, I want you to watch all 3 episodes. But see, I used to have 2 aircraft as a private pilot. And in order for this airplane to get airborne, to fly, I'm talking about you soaring financially with your money, okay? You have to overcome the weight. What's the weight? That's taxes and inflation, okay? Now, in order to overcome that financially, you have to have lift, okay, which is compound interest. That's the first marvel. The second marvel is what I'm talking about in this episode. You have to have tax-favored accumulation. Tax-free is like a jet engine. Tax-deferred, you'll run out of money. That's only like a propeller engine, okay? Now, watch the next episode, and this is drag. This is the third marvel, safe, positive leverage. And if you understand how money works, you have to have drag. If I don't have drag or resistance on the airplane, I'll never get off the tarmac. Did you know that? Now, a lot of pilots forget that because if you don't have drag, you'll fall out of the sky and because you're in a stall. A stall means you've lost resistance. So resistance means if you want to get mega wealthy, you have to learn why paying interest is your friend, not your foe. Banks, credit unions, insurance companies, they would wither up and die if they stopped borrowing and paying interest, okay? And so watch my next episode on the third marvel of wealth accumulation to understand how you can soar financially. Now, if you want, you can read in my book, The Laser Fund. This is our most recent best-selling book. It's been flying off of our warehouse shelves. So if you haven't claimed your free copy, I would implore you to do so. It retails on Amazon for anywhere from $20 up to $60, plus shipping and handling. And so if you buy it on Amazon, thank you. But I'll gift you a copy for free. I said that copy of the book for free. I require a little bit of skin in the game. You go to laserfund.com or click on the link below, and you contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling, and then I'll pay for the book. I will fire out a hard copy of this 300-page book to you via priority mail, okay? But when you're in there claiming your free copy, if you like to listen and learn or watch and learn, there's those formats available. And it's actually 2 books in one, okay? 200 pages are the left brain side, the charts and graphs and explanations, the white side. If you're a right brain learner, you learn more by stories. You flip it over to this one, the orange side. And this is about 100 pages, 12 chapters with 62 actual client stories. You can use your whole brain and read both books. But the point is this. These are high concepts coupled with high touch, and it will change your life. It'll show you how to diversify and create the foundation for a tax-free retirement. While you're in there claiming your free book, you can register for one of our free educational webinars we teach every week. No cost, no obligation. You can even schedule an appointment with an IUL professional that I oversee, that I've trained, because if you just go to any insurance agent that says, I can sell you an IUL, and they don't know what they're doing, you might only end up with $500,000 or $1 million when you could have had $4 million or $8 million over the same period of time with compounding tax-free. It's huge, the difference. If you earn 7.2%, you might turn $500,000 in 30 years to $4 million. But if you tweak it 2.4% to 9.6, you'll end up with 8 million, twice as much money. And a lot of people don't understand that, and that's why you ought to schedule to talk to an IUL professional, and there's no cost or obligation if you choose to do that. This is not about me or us, it's about you and your brighter future.